Welcome to Talk About Topeka Live, coming to you from the Topeka Performing Arts Center. We have a spectacular Connecting the Arts segment with the Jayhawk Theater, featuring a board member, Bobbi Trammell. I'm your host, Chris Schultz, and this segment is brought to you by Field of Greens Garden Bistro in downtown Topeka. Bobbi, how you doing?
I'm doing just great. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. There are so many cool things that are going on.
There are a lot.
At the Jayhawk Theater, especially, right? You guys have been working nonstop. I'm seeing all kinds of events. You know, it was the marquee popped up out there. Everything that's going on Kansas Avenue, very exciting. And you're becoming a home for a lot of different groups of folks. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on over there.
Last Minute Folk is a wonderful group. They do folk music. We're working a little bit on some rebranding. Not a lot. It's still going to be folk music. But we have some new plans for them. They're wonderful. They're like our bread and butter. We have Swing Dance Topeka, who is a fantastic group, and that we have people from ages 4 through 92 that come to swing dance, and they actually do swing dance, which is awesome. They're doing 3 Thursday nights in a row now, and they did 3 Thursdays last month, and they're doing one dance that they're doing covering over 3 Thursdays. And then, of course, we have a big event twice a year that they do and we do. It's a collaboration between Topeka Swing Dance, 785 band, swing band, and the Jayhawk Theater.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the folks that have come together to work on the Jayhawk project.
Okay.
You know, the people, you know, what they're seeing, the vision that they have, where they want to go with it, what they want to do with it. You know, let's talk about that.
That varies.
Yeah.
We all have our own vision of what we want it to be, but the one thing we all agree on is that we want it restored to its original beauty, if not better. It can't get better than what it was, I don't mean that, but there are things that we can update and upgrade. For instance, nobody knows about the dressing rooms. We call it the catacombs. Underneath the stage goes way down. Have you been down there?
I have been.
Isn't that awesome? Wouldn't that make a great Halloween tour? Our insurance company won't let us do that, but it would make a great venue.
If the insurance company's watching, I wasn't down there.
You weren't down there.
I was not down there.
You never were. No, you heard about it from a good friend.
Yeah, I saw a picture somewhere.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Including the little tiny individual dressing rooms with individual heaters. Radiators built onto the wall, little tiny that fit onto the walls of each one of them. Huge rooms. The original air conditioning system that was the $50,000 thing that we hear about all the time. The best cooling system in America in 1926 takes up a whole room.
Yeah,
a whole room.
First air-cooled theaters.
If you've been in the gallery, it's a room that big. So getting that out and turning that into a speakeasy, because it has an alley entrance, could be a really fun project. But that's something that we talk about. Nothing that's definitely going anywhere, and that's going to be years away.
So let's talk a little bit about you know, some of the projects that have happened there, because you're seeing a lot of progress on things. You know,
a lot of it you don't see.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest things we've done you haven't seen. The roof has been replaced.
Which is a huge thing.
Huge thing. The fire escape on the back of the building has been completely refinished, redone, replaced, redone. New treads on everything back there is new. New fire doors. Other doors to the outside have been replaced or repaired. We had the stairs leading down to the catacombs had completely rotted through. And it was no longer, you couldn't get down there unless you had on springy jumpy shoes. And those have been replaced. And those are things that nobody's going to see. So we're doing that. We have just finished, we're so proud, we have a real green room now. And we're very proud of that, and it's
really
right off
green.
of the gallery. It's green too. It's green. They asked me if, they asked us if we had any preference of colors, and I said it has to be green.
Of course.
It has to be green. It's a green room. It needs to be green. Although the original green rooms weren't green. They're green rooms because that's where you put the growy plants that were used on stage.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that. But it's green.
Yeah. Well, and there are a lot of the little nuggets of history that get people excited.
We find them all the time.
Talk a little bit about some of the ones that made you most excited.
This was really exciting. We have a volunteer who also works in the Jayhawk Theater in IT, so he has permission to crawl into places where other people don't. So he decided it was time that we found out what was above the ceiling, between the roof and the ceiling. Stained glass from the original. There are lights that are in the top of the theater.
Yeah.
As you look up, and
Yeah.
they don't have stained glass in them anymore. We think that's where it's from. I haven't been up there. I can't climb that high anymore. I'm too old. But he said they're curved pieces of stained glass, and that's the only place we can figure out that they came from. And then lots of, I guess, a cerulean blue. It's not a royal blue. Cerulean comes close. And they're rectangles, and they're shaped, and we don't know if they were used well, we know they were used for light to come through and to color them, but we don't know if they were used in lighting instruments or not. We found batteries from the 20s, original light bulbs that went into the little, where the stars used to shine, the big dome in the middle.
Yeah.
And we found a lot of those that have never been used that are brand new. Well, they're not brand new. They're 50, 60 years old, but they've never been opened.
New to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
new to us, unused.
Yes,
unused.
yeah. Wow.
And
Didn't
those,
find
and we're
Jimmy
finding
Hoffa down in the catacombs, did you?
We might have. There was somebody else there. Of course, we have bats once in a while. We had a wedding recently, and I was not in town. It was one of the people that is on our board. So I was going through the camera, going through the video late at night to look, and I saw something white fly through, and I thought, was that a ghost? Because we have ghosts too. And I looked again, and that was a bat. So she had an unexpected bat at her wedding. We're always finding posters. In fact, there are still people working back there right now, cleaning out the storage area and finding all kinds of posters from the 40s and 50s, and we have one from the 30s.
Wow.
We're always finding things, special things.
The history of that place. And you talk about the things like the roof. Like, we had a theater that was the Grand Theater that had the roof collapse.
That collapsed completely.
And that they had to get rid of it. So to know that the structure has been,
Pretty much. We have one wall on the east side of the theater that we have had to block off because stuff is falling. And the problem that we're running into, and why some of us are getting very concerned, there is something that happens with plaster when it's been up for too long, and that has gotten into that wall. Now, right now, it's just that one, but it's really important that we get the money and that we get the repairs done and that it gets taken care of, or we're going to have some of the same problems that other theaters have had.
Yeah. Well, time, talent, treasure, whatever you have to give to the Jayhawk, it's a very noble cause for the local community.
And we book events too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do.
How do people get involved, if they're interested in watching this and say they want to
On Wednesdays, that's our work session night, and that night is when we're there. All of our tickets to any events can be found through the events page or section on our Facebook page.
Okay.
We go through Vendini.
Okay.
We have, I forgot to mention Ad Astra, who is opening this week, and they're located at our theater too.
So
we
many
have
good
a
things.
phone number, 233-4295 is who you call to book an event.
All right.
That goes straight to Robin Bonsall, and she will work with you, and our rentals go from $400 to $1,000. If you want to rent the theater and the gallery for a whole day, that's $1,000. But
you check it out at jayhawktheater.org is the website. You can
Right.
find all that information. That's about all the time we have right now for this episode, but there's so many more. We'll have you come back and tell us more stories about the Jayhawk.
There are a
keep us
lot.
updated on the progress of
I
it.
will.
That's Bobbi Trammell. She's on the board of the Jayhawk Theater. Get involved with them, jayhawktheater.org, and we'd certainly like to thank the sponsor of this segment, Everything Topeka and Field of Greens in downtown Topeka. So check it out, everythingtopeka.com and Field of Greens. I'm your host, Chris Schultz, for this episode of Talk About Topeka, saying thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment on this, and share with your friends. Make sure everybody knows how cool the Jayhawk Theater is and all the guests on our show are for being local superstars. This is Bobbi Trammell. She's one of them, folks. Thank you so much, Bobbi.
Thank you.